How you doing, guys? I just wanted to share something with you, and for the purpose of this video I'm using the historic price action of Shiba Inu. I think everyone who is aware of crypto is aware of Shiba Inu, but what I want to show you is that this token essentially did not much for for a very long period of time. I mean, that's April 21 and inception was August 20. So we're looking at 10-month period. It began to wake up, and then it had a nice little pump, showed us kind of what it wanted to do. That was in September 21, and retraced, did absolutely nothing for a very long period of time before it really showed us where it wanted to go. And if you follow the advice of some trusted trade analysis, you will know that pretty much all of us believe that there is a lot more in the tank for Shiba Inu, and that it has scope to realistically 3x, possibly 4 or 5x from where it is now, which would take it up to the realms of realistically about 16, which would be up here. So the reason that I'm talking about Shiba and the history of the price action, I mean, for those that have just got into this, following the monumental giga move that it had, that's essentially all you really have seen. The real big spikes, and then we've tailed off back, and it looks like we're going to go again. But what I want you to basically be aware of is how long and how low this thing sat. Now, I think there's like six zeros on this, and then we've dropped a couple of zeros, blah, blah, blah. You know where I'm going with this. The moves, when it's really taken off, have been monumental. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is that this is basically what happens when retail gets involved and people start investing huge amounts of money. About 43 million took this one from like where it was to circa this zone, and then retail and some other large investments took it right up, and I think it's still going to go and it's going to be great. Now the reason I'm talking about this and sort of like the dormancy that we could see, even after its first pump, it was still pretty dormant. There wasn't much movement with the price before it really took off. I want to just show you Moss Carbon, and where do I want to pull out? I want to pull out to the price. So when you're just looking at the day, it's laid really dormant, and then it's really spiked, and that's just from $10 to $13.50, and then it's tailed off back to where we are now. And if you just watched my latest video, you'll see what's going on. Now, if we look at this year to date, we've got a pretty flat line, if I'm being brutally honest. Although it looks like we've had really great moves, we've tailed off, but overall we're running pretty flat. Now, let me just take it over the last 12 months. You can see we've had this dip, and then we're in this ripple effect of pump and dump, pump and dump. I really personally believe that what we're looking at with MCO2 at the moment is this area of SHIB. Now, if I was to sort of zoom right in on this, it would look like a ripple effect, the same way it does here, where it's slightly up, slightly down, moves here and there, 10, 15, 20%, sometimes a 2x and a pullback. But there was no giga move, and once you have these giga moves, the price action up to that point looks insignificant in comparison. So I just want to make you aware that Moss Carbon Credit was the first green carbon credit token on blockchain. Very similar to how Bitcoin was one of the first, if not the first, crypto store of value. So if you got into Bitcoin on day one, everyone's like, oh my God, if only I'd known, if only I'd held it. We didn't know. We didn't hold it. Not many people did. Not many people, unless you really took a gamble, got in as early adopters. And if you did, congratulations. You are the second coming. I bow down to you. And if you went in with a decent amount, congratulations. And if you're still holding, then again, real congratulations. But what I'm trying to say is that with regards to what Bitcoin was to the digital currency age, Moss Carbon is about to do to the carbon credit age. Now, it's already that you need to do your own research on this. You really do. But there is a lot of conversation happening at the moment regarding this market dip being relative to a couple of war zones and investments being pulled due to that, but also that there's a much wider market manipulation occurring to allow big investment, big global companies to come in at the right prices. Now, carbon credits, if you know anything about COP26 and the previous COP, there is legislation, globally binding regulations about becoming carbon neutral, net zero, offsetting what you do with carbon credits and etc. There is not enough carbon credits out there for companies like Shell, BP, other big names to actually acquire to offset their carbon footprint. And it really won't be long before they realize that they can essentially offset their carbon footprint through crypto, through tokens like MCO2, which is a green utility. There are also blue utilities that you can purchase, and you need to do your own research to understand the difference between the two of them. But where we are with Moss Carbon being so new and really not moving that much in terms of price action, especially when you consider it costs them $15 to issue a carbon credit NFT, and their price currently is well below that, currently around 11.67. But there's not been many occasions since inception that they've held above $15. Now, I'm not saying this is going to become a stable coin and essentially hold $15, because they have something for that. They do have a separate. Anyway, I won't go into too much of tokenomics. What I'm saying is, this is not financial advice, but this is my personal belief that what happened with Bitcoin, with the store of value and everyone getting involved and realizing what it can do, and the price going from like $10 to near enough 70,000 per Bitcoin, I'm expecting to see a similar trend with some of these carbon credit utility tokens. And I'm not saying that Moss Carbon is going to go up to 60,000, but can it be comparable to Ethereum in terms of the value, in terms of the market cap? 100% yes. When it gets cheap enough that one of these big companies turns around and says, I want to buy 1 million or 2 million tokens, what's going to happen to the price? It's going to absolutely fly. And then people will be screaming out to try and get these when they realize what everyone else is starting to do. So it's not financial advice. That is very much a personal perception, but it's based on good research. The MCO2, whether you're buying it at $10, $15, $12, $20, in my view, is going to be a cheap price in the future. So just bear in mind, guys, we're looking at the price action here, highly fluctuating, but essentially it's not doing major pumps and major dumps. You look back at Shiba, where are we on that sort of timeline? How does Moss Carbon look to you? I tell you now, within the next 12 months, we will see a nice big giga candle such as this. I think we're just preparing for it. Alright, not financial advice, have to stipulate it really isn't financial advice. This token could fall to zero. But personally, being the first, knowing about the regulations that are coming and the way that we're going to have huge investment into crypto shortly with big business, this is one that really excites me. So best of luck, take care.